Distinguished delegates and honorable chair and brilliant guest, as well as hardworking interpreter. My name is Mechid Paiman, and I'm from Khatib Cultural Association in Denmark. And on behalf of Khatib, I just want to take a brief moment to thank you for inviting us, VIDC inviting us to this conference. We are sincerely appreciative of getting the invitation and being able to discuss across the different associations. We think that it's a really important step towards better integration, especially that we have these different conferences, and being part of the first European Afghan Diaspora Conference is also here in Vienna is also a very important part of this step. And we talked a lot about the newly come refugees that have come to different countries, but we also want to talk on Khatib Cultural Association is very focused on talking about the more future generations. Also on behalf of myself, being a second generation refugee, my parents came to Denmark before I was born, and then I was born there. So yeah, Khatib Cultural Association was established for Afghans in Denmark being able to exchange their cultural values into the Danish society and help the future generations gain good values from both. So yeah, Khatib was founded in 2007, and it has in different ways always been active in the integration issues and the whole process, as many of the fellow associations here have. Moreover, Khatib has also in the past few years completed 3 projects set in Afghanistan, and these were prepared and planned by members of Khatib, but without the help of DRC, the Danish Refugee Council, or VIDC or another organization as such, these wouldn't be possible at all because of the financial lack and the organizational lack that might occur. So yeah, because of that, we're very thankful. For us, it's a priority to focus on the development of Afghanistan, of course. But as I mentioned, it's also an even higher priority maybe to focus on the current refugees and maybe second generation refugees and third generation refugees that in countries outside of the Afghan borders, they need to as we've also talked about, they need to change the image that the host societies have made for Afghans specifically. So, for example, living in war for the past 3 or 4 decades in Afghanistan has really destroyed its values and its life and all that, and we've talked about it, and it's important to talk about. However, these should not take our full concentration away from our duties that we have in the countries that we're already living in. And that's an important aspect of what Khatib believes should also be taken into consideration. We shouldn't just close our eyes towards it and not really consider our own personal duties that we as Afghans outside of Afghanistan have. Yeah, we mustn't neglect our responsibilities in the Western society and kind of create a gap between the Afghan communities that live abroad, or in Denmark, for example, and our host country. We need to rather push ourselves and the future generation especially to kind of participate and be active in political, social, and different kinds of gatherings, and in that way we can integrate ourselves into the society that we live in, rather than to focus on getting the future generation or helping the future generation become a better generation than the previous one. So yeah, we believe that keeping the balance between the two different, us being active in Afghanistan and us being active for Afghanistan in the country that we live in, that will not only benefit Afghans in every part of the world, but it will also create more opportunities for us as Afghan diasporas to actually help the real current issues that are in Afghanistan. So yeah, furthermore, it would also improve Afghan diaspora's reputation around the country, around the world, as we also talked about. that it has gotten like worse and worse, and we need to make a change to make it look better from now on. And we need to focus on the good parts of the Afghan diaspora rather than the bad parts that maybe the media is also talking about sometimes.
Excuse me, could you give an example for good parts of the...
Yeah, I mean, for example, all of these Afghan organizations and associations in Denmark, I know more about it, that actually try to help and collaborate like internationally to actually resolve the issues in Afghanistan. These are some of the good things, but the bad things are, as we have talked about, like the criminality and the criminals that are just brought up constantly, or the thousands of Afghans that seek refuge here and basically just take up the Danish people's space or the Austrian people's space. Yeah, that's not how it should be. We need to protect the future generations by, for instance, implementing, like, I don't know, democratic values into the future generations so that they're aware that they have some kind of a voice, that it's possible, because obviously Denmark is way more developed than Afghanistan, and we need to therefore take these good values and implement them into the future generations. So yeah, aside from prioritizing like the issues in Afghanistan, we need to also prioritize our own personal issues that we like come across for the future generations.